Hello, welcome to Elif's Kitchen. With all its tips and tricks, I want to share the Antakya-style stuffed meatball recipe with the perfect consistency and exact measurements. To be notified about my new recipes, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications by clicking the bell. 1 kilogram of fine bulgur for meatballs. I place it in a large deep bowl. We can say approximately 7 cups. I add 1 cup of semolina, and I stir it a little with a spoon. I add 3 full tablespoons of red pepper paste. If you like spicy, you can add spicy paste. Then, I add 7 cups of hot water and stir. I cover it and let it sit for about half an hour. Meanwhile, I start preparing my filling. Half a kilogram of medium-fat minced meat, ground twice. And half a kilogram of low-fat minced meat, also ground twice, I add half a cup of water to it. Turn on the stove and stir for a few minutes. The reason I do this is because I don't want the minced meat to clump. I sauté the minced meat a little, then I will add the other ingredients. See, it has started releasing its water. I let it absorb its water over high heat, stirring occasionally. See, my minced meat has now absorbed its water. I add 150 grams of margarine to it. I continue to sauté my minced meat. While the minced meat is sautéing over medium heat, to add to it, I processed 1 kilogram of onions in a food processor. See, I processed them to a medium fineness, not too thin. I added it to the minced meat. I continue to sauté the minced meat, stirring. I add enough salt to it. Enough black pepper. I continue to sauté my minced meat. My minced meat is now ready. See, the onions are also sautéed. I now remove the minced meat from the stove and let it cool on the side. My bulgur is also ready. I let it sit for about half an hour. I place it into the tray where I will knead it. I add 1 egg to it. I add 1 grated onion. I added 5 slightly heaped tablespoons of flour. And I added 1 more tablespoon of red pepper paste. It seemed a little to me, so I ended up adding a total of 4 tablespoons of red pepper paste. I add 1 full teaspoon of cumin. I also add a little salt. I mix it thoroughly first. I start kneading by adding water little by little. Normally, I add water by eye, but to give you a measurement, I added it with a cup. I will tell you again how much I added. Don't add all the water at once. If it's too watery, you'll have difficulty shaping it. I kneaded it a little. While kneading my meatballs, I added nearly 2 cups of water, but I added it gradually. If you add too much water, you will have difficulty shaping it. Add the water carefully. I kneaded it a bit. I knead my meatballs in a dough kneading machine. This way it's very easy. Because the more you knead the outer shell of the stuffed meatball, the better your meatball will be. And it will fry without cracking and without absorbing oil. Kneading is very important. I took the dough kneading machine. I knead it here by adding water little by little. I kneaded it 4 times. Little by little, I kneaded it, then transferred it to a tray. See, as you can see, it has reached the consistency of sig-koft, raw meatball. It can be squeezed, formed. Of course, I will also knead it by hand. I kneaded all the bulgur in batches. I also knead it by hand in the tray, occasionally dipping my hand in water. This tip is very important. You must knead the stuffed meatballs very, very well. Otherwise your meatballs will not be good at all. When you cook it, it will crack and may fall apart, it will absorb oil and be heavy. Pay close attention to this. As I said, I knead it in a dough kneading machine, but if you don't have a dough kneading machine, but you must knead it thoroughly for at least half an hour. My meatball dough is now well kneaded and has reached the consistency of sig-koft. I want to add the meat to it. You need to get half a kilogram of completely lean meat for sig-koft. You can get it by telling your butcher this. I had it ground 2 or 3 times at the butcher's. Now I will also process the minced meat in the food processor. I add about a full teaspoon of salt and half a cup of water. And process it until it becomes like a paste. Then I add the processed meat to the meatball dough, occasionally dipping my hand in water. I mix it thoroughly and knead it again. At this stage, you can adjust the amount of salt by tasting the meatball dough. If you like spicy, you can add red pepper flakes. The more you knead the outer shell of the meatball, the better your meatball will be. And it will fry without cracking and without absorbing oil. Kneading is very important. My meatball dough is now ready. See, it's like sig-koft. It will be good. Now, to the cooled minced meat, I add 2 cups of coarsely chopped walnuts. I add a bunch of chopped parsley. You can add as much hot red pepper flakes as you wish. I added red pepper flakes. I taste and adjust the salt amount, then mix it thoroughly. To allow the minced meat to firm up, I put it in the refrigerator for about 10 to 15 minutes. Or if you don't have time, you can put it in the freezer for about 5 to 10 minutes. The reason I put it in the fridge is, see, like this. I form my minced meat into small balls, this way it's much easier. When I place it, I easily put the minced meat inside the meatball. See, I formed all of them. I start making my meatballs. I break off pieces slightly larger than an egg. If you want, you can make them smaller. Lightly wetting my finger and palm, I hollow it out with my index finger, so that it's very thin. The characteristic of stuffed meatballs is to be very thin. I place the minced meat inside, see, I close it by pinching. Gently pinching. I also taper the other end. My meatballs are ready. I arrange them on a cloth. I prepare them this way until I have made all the meatballs. I poured about 1 liter of oil into the pan and heated it. I drop my meatballs into it one by one and fry them, turning them. If you wish, you can also place them on paper towels. See, they fried beautifully golden brown. You can see there's no cracking or falling apart. It never absorbed oil inside. The consistency turned out very well. See, it's so soft. I also want to show you the inside, with its magnificent taste. My stuffed meatballs are now ready for serving. I will serve them hot. I highly recommend it to you all. It truly turns out very delicious. Good luck to those who will try it, and bon appétit. I await your comments. If you liked my video, don't forget to share it. Thank you for watching my video.